Well, it's Halloween and I have failed and it's snowing. My goal was to have my DeLorean completed and parked on the front lawn of my house for Halloween. My family and I were gonna dress up as the cast of Back to the Future. I'm Marty, I look like an idiot now. And I failed. I wasn't able to get the car finished. I just didn't have enough time. I spent forever on this stupid rear parking brake. And because of that, I didn't have time to fix the engine that wouldn't start. I literally closed the door, it stopped running, and I ran out of time. I should have just left the parking brake alone. If only I could go back in time and warn myself, don't work on the parking brake. Wait a minute. I have a friend with a DeLorean time machine. Hang on, Eric, can you bring the machine over? I need to go back. Yes, this is the last time. Thank you, thank you.
Alex, hurry up, you gotta go!
I know! I'm gonna go back like 3 weeks. October 5th, 2023. There we go. All right, we're all set up. Flux capacitor is fluxing. Let's do this. I'm off to the past to save Alex. All right, we have a ton of parts to refurbish and reinstall on the DeLorean in this video, like this nasty rack. We also have a couple of axles that we need to redo, but one at a time. Let's get some degreaser on this thing and clean it up in the wash bay. We'll let that sit for a couple of minutes. We'll use the brush as well, and these boots are in phenomenal condition, I must say. And now it's pressure washer time. Pretty good, but we're not done yet. Next, I'm gonna attempt to remove these outer tie rods. Oh, did that just turn? Yes. All right, these things are shot. All right, remove the clamps. I'll take off the lock nut here. And now I can remove the boot. Okay. There's our boot. And here's the inner tie rod. It's in perfect condition with no play. And this is what a manual rack looks like. So no power steering on the DeLorean. It does use a little bit of oil to grease up the gears in here, but that's about it. Just moves in and out like so. And the reason I'm working over my garbage can right now is because I'm about to get a little bit messy. And this rack just happens to fit right here perfectly. Actually, we'll go one step further outside. I'm sure the LSC Express van won't mind a little bit of rust on it. But we're grinding this down to get it ready for paint. The rack's turning out pretty nice. Watch this. Oh yeah, this is gonna look good. And I think this is actually where you fill it with a little bit of oil. The rack is all cleaned up, ready for paint. And so is all of this stuff. So we just picked this up from the sandblaster. He blasted the rear spindles, the front spindles, the control arms, a bunch of brackets. And here are the rear control arms as well. We're using my custom built paint booth and we're using a white primer. That's what I had in the cabinet. All right, we'll let that dry for a little bit. And I did get the front sway bar powder coated black along with the sway bar brackets, but I wasn't able to get any of the control arms powder coated because they have rubber bushings and they have to heat these up so much that you could destroy the bushings in the process. And we don't want that. We're getting there. Control arms are primed. All right, it's time for some gloss black. And we're gonna do quite a few thin coats here for the final color. It's a good dusting. A little more dust, a little more dust. It's been a few minutes. This will be one of our thicker coats. Wet coat, if you will. Looking good, looking good. All right, I'll keep going with the paint. These things are gonna look so good. I'm so excited. The steering, suspension, brakes, everything on this DeLorean, it's just gonna be so nice. Brackets are done, looking pretty. These are all done as well. And most of the rack is gonna be black, except this part. Oh, it's beautiful. This is so much fun, guys. Woo! Look at that. This is so much fun. This is the only part that's gonna be silver, so that is masked off. And we're laying down our gloss black. Ho-ho. We are done with paint for now, so while this dries, let's get to the good stuff. I am making some performance modifications to the DeLorean, so we have adjustable coilovers and some larger brakes from Willwood, and I'm really excited for these two items right here because they're going to make this car handle better and they're gonna correct a big issue with these super cheap factory lower control arms. They're just stamped steel and these actually can crack. And so DeLorean Midwest has created this, a billet aluminum control arm. This thing is meaty. It is very, very strong. It's not going to break. And then this right here, which I'll show you more when we get it on the car, is gonna help with deflection when turning, and everything is just gonna look so good. Our spindles are painted up. Let's get to work. So this comes with all new hardware, which is beautiful. And these look to be poly bushings as well, so an upgrade there. So we'll slide this one in. Now our beautiful control arm slides in right here. Washer. Another washer and a nut. And we're gonna leave this loose for a little while while we assemble everything else. I'm gonna slide these into place. So what we need to do first is deconstruct our coilover, because we need to feed this through the bottom of these new control arms. Is that, and now we spin this off. There we are. And the reason I had to do that is we can't slide this in this way. The opening for this control arm bushing is from the bottom, so we have to slide the coilover in like that. There we go. Now we need to put this coilover back together. And this is how the coilover is able to adjust the suspension, because we get to set the spring height while it's on the car. Reverse order, our little booty. Spring. This billet piece of aluminum comes with the coilovers, but this is our factory rubber stopper, and they don't make that anymore. We're definitely transferring it over. Now we can bring this down. All right, let's make a ride height adjustment right now so we can get this to go in here. There we are. Now we can push that up there, and we'll adjust this part down now so we can get the shaft to come up. You guys have the camera view, better view than me. I can't even see what's going on up there. Is it through yet? You tell me. Comment down below. I don't know yet. All right, with that through, we can start to attach our brace. This thing just looks so cool. Palm versus bolt. That hurts. There we go. Gotta be smarter than the DeLorean. And it's now aftermarket parts. And you know, I was gonna paint this brace, but it actually looks really cool as is. Another washer and a nut. Okay, cool. Guys, are you kidding me? This is so, so nice. Brand new ball joint. They even throw you a cotter pin and some hardware. So nice. From what I understand, the DeLorean's already handled really well. And now with this already and the big brakes, man, we're really gonna be able to slow down that 130 horsepower V6. I have the screw jack in place now, and that'll bring this guy all the way up. There we go, that's maxed out. Now we can install the top bushing like so. And then we get our top nut on, like so. And you have to hold the shaft with an 8mm and tighten the nut up with a 17. All right, you don't have to go too crazy here, because you could go to town and smush this bushing down, but that's the right amount of smush right there. And then we have a lock nut that'll fit on too. All right, tighten that on. We're good up here. Now the shock holding everything together, we can take the screw jack out, and holy cow, this looks absolutely awesome. Just slightly better than putting this old crusty girl back on. And speaking of things not looking crusty anymore, take a look at the power steering rack. The paint has dried, so I have new boots and new outer tie rod ends. And I sent out a bunch of parts to DeLorean Midwest to have them yellow zinc plated. So this is what some of the parts looked like before, and this is what they look like after. Literal gold. We have gold here, people. Look at this. So the guys over at DeLorean Midwest rebuilt the rear brake calipers, and then they had them yellow zinc plated, so those are practically brand new. We actually won't be using the dust shields with the big brakes, but I had those done too. Couldn't leave them looking like this. So maybe those will get hung up on the wall. I want to hang on a little bit more show and tell. This is what the rear spindles and the rear control arms looked like before, and here they are after. So we painted these. I painted the spindles as well. And then of course we had all the hardware refurbished and zinc plated. And the guys at DeLorean Midwest also hooked me up with 2 new wheel bearings. One of them was really bad, and now they are both whisper quiet. I mean, look at this thing right here. Look, I don't even want to put it in the car. It just looks too good. I just want this on my desk. I want to stare at it every day. Okay, got the brake line out. This actually took about an hour and a half of struggle because it got rusted into this little perch that it sits in. See all that? That was fun, a lot of fun. Luckily, this is going bye-bye. We're doing brake hoses all the way around. We actually need to in the front because of the larger brakes. The line goes in like that, and then we have a retaining nut to hold it on. Tighten this up with our 17. All right, and now we can reconnect the hard brake line to our new hose. And we'll tighten this up with a line wrench. There we go. I don't know why, but putting the spindle on just makes me feel like we're really getting somewhere here. Our nicely painted spindle, brand new castle nut, brand new ball joint, brand new super thick aluminum lower control arm. You wanna thread on there maybe one day, buddy? Come on now. Oh, I love it. We are hand building my DeLorean here. No impact tools are being used. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna use so many impact tools on this, but I can get the wrench in here nicely. Then I can line up our hole for the cotter pin. All right, cotter pin is in. Now from the factory, this is what the caliper mounts to. I call it the Mickey Mouse ears bracket, but because we're going with the bigger brakes, we get a different Mickey Mouse bracket. But I had that old one cleaned up anyway because, you know, it's a DeLorean part. It deserves it. We're gonna blue Loctite these, new hardware as well, and then we'll go ahead and hand tighten everything. We have our 32 millimeter nut for the inside here of the spindle. Nice and yellow zinc plated. She's on. Next, we have a wheel hub spacer that comes with the kit. And then we're using wheel hubs off of one of the best vehicles ever produced. 1990 Ford Escort. So this is a DeLorean with Ford Escort parts on it. It's really kind of like the best of all worlds just put into one, you know? The 90 Escort, just a legend. Now we have our special washer for the hub. We have a new nut, this comes in the kit, and our torque wrench. Oh man, this wheel is gonna spin just like a 1990 Ford Escort spins. Woo, look at how fast it's going. Now we have a part that I don't wanna install because it's just so nice. Anything that's billet aluminum just looks so pretty, but it fits right in here. And then we're gonna do a little one-handed Loctite. Skills right there. And new hardware for this. It's time for our beautiful upper control arms, and I did remove the old ball joints. They are normally riveted in, but I installed some new ones with some bolts, lock washers, and nuts, and they're looking good. So let's go ahead and slide this onto our DeLorean frame like so. Then we have our gigantic gold bolt that comes through this way. Beautiful. Washer and nut going on, and we'll leave this temporarily loose as well. Let's get this spindle on. There we are. We'll pivot the spindle this way, and this is a lock nut, and we'll go ahead and tighten this one up by hand. There we go. Swing this guy back around, and big slash kind of little brake time. Before our rotor goes on, we'll do a little bit of anti-seize, and I mean a little. Just a really thin layer is all you need. Don't go crazy. I always wipe this on with a rag as well, especially a car like this that's not gonna get driven in any real weather. There we go. Here is our new rotor. Now, before we install our new caliper, we have to install this brake line fitting. The instructions say to use Teflon tape, and I just want to show you that there is a right way and a wrong way of putting the tape on a fitting. So this would be the wrong way. You have to make sure you're installing it in the right direction. So if we were to go ahead and install this, it would start to come up as we turn it to the right. So what you want to do is with the fitting facing towards what you want to turn it into, so righty-tighty, apply the Teflon tape to the top of the threads, and then by the time you get to the end, it'll be in the right direction. Now I'm gonna fold this piece down, but just to show you, now when we go to the right to tighten it, this piece will go with the threads and it won't get caught up and unravel like before. So just like this, we'll tighten it down, and you know you've done it wrong if this stuff starts to bunch up. That means it's removing itself. With that tightened up, we can install our Willwood caliper and our bolts from the top. And we'll torque these to 37 foot-pounds. There we go. We'll do a little bit of caliper grease on the back of the brake pads. These get slid in like so. Numero due. And then our beautiful pad retaining clip just goes in like that over the notch. We're good. This looks so good, and I love the color. This is gonna look really good behind the darker gray DeLorean wheels. I'm all about matching with the DeLorean, so I got a new stainless steel water bottle from Air Up, and not only does this thing look great, but check out the coolest thing you've ever seen on a water bottle. All right, check this out. This right here is called a flavor pod. With it pushed down, you get plain water, but when you pull this up and take a sip, you hear the bubbling? That's the flavor coming up through the pod. So you get to experience flavored water through scent. And that means you're not adding anything to your water like sugar or a syrup with who knows what inside. And for me, this is really cool because I always forget to stay hydrated and I don't drink much water throughout the day. But with Air Up, the flavor pods are so good, it's motivating to drink more water. The Air Up bottles look and feel great, and they come in many different colors, and they have so many different flavor pods. You're sure to find a bunch that you love, and these make an excellent gift too. I bought my wife one, and we have a couple more set aside for Christmas presents this year. Swapping out your flavor pod is super easy. You just pull it off, put a new one on, and this orange vanilla twist, it's so good. I think this is my favorite one. I don't know how they do this, but anyway, give the gift of hydration with an Air Up water bottle, or just buy one for yourself by clicking on my link down below. These make an excellent gift, and definitely check out their special edition bundles and save up to 30% while you're at it. So check out the link down below. Now that I'm hydrated, let's get back to work. Here's a look from the back with our new brake line. And here's a look at the driver's side at some DeLorean parts that are prone to failure. Weird. This is called the angle drive system. So we have the same spindle part here, but a different nut that is a pass-through for this little drive shaft. So it goes in like that. And this is what failed on my DeLorean, why it wasn't reading the mileage properly. But we have a new one, and now this gets put inside of here, like so. It's got a little snap ring. And you can see when I spin this, it spins that, which is connected to the speedo cable that runs inside of the vehicle, and that has another drive right there. So we're gonna slide that in like so, and then tighten up this nut right here. Now what I wanna do now is test the angle drive. So we have everything connected, and we're gonna put a drill on here. Now in theory, if this works, we should be able to see the speedo moving up. Maybe we can hit 88 miles an hour with a drill. I don't know. Here we go. Hey, it works. All right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh no, we can't time travel. That's as fast as my drill goes. That's pretty cool to see though. And the movie cars cluster was different to show 88 miles an hour. This thing only reads 85. I've put everything else back together, and really the only difference on this side is that we have this tether here that attaches to the speedo cable. And then the final piece of the puzzle to this angle drive is this cap. So this is actually what spins. It goes into the hub, which is gonna spin. And you can see that square part, it fits on here. So we gotta line that up. Oh, cool. Look at that. It says DeLorean Midwest. That's where I got most of my parts from. Once it's splined in there, this cap fits in here nice and snug. And now it will spin and read our mile per hour or kilometers per hour, depending on where you live. What is 88 miles per hour in kilometers? With our brakes, control arms, and coilovers complete, it's time to install our beautifully refurbished rack and pinion steering. So I am replacing the boots. I already have this side on, and these are easy to replace, but you do have to have the outer tie rods off. Luckily, we're replacing those anyway, and they just slide on like so. And each side has its own little groove. You might need a little bit of help to get these on. Just gotta roll it over. There we go. And you can see the inner tie rod has a groove there, so that stays right there in place. And in our nice boot kit, they give you zip ties. So some of these will be metal clamps, but you can use zip ties as well. That's what they give us for the rebuild, so we'll do that. Just make sure it's tight. Cut the zip tie off. All right, outer zip tie going on. Before the outer tie rods go on, we have to thread in the lock nut on each side, and then we could thread on the outer tie rod. I counted the threads before we took the old one back, so I'm just gonna set this up roughly where it was before, and it'll get fine-tuned on the alignment rack. Final piece of the rack puzzle is some oil. And from what I understand, we need to take this cover off and add the oil in there. Okay, looks like there's a spring. Now we're gonna remove this part here. There we are. Okay, yeah, this is where we're gonna put the fluid. I don't think it makes too big of a difference what fluid goes in here. Power steering fluid, a little bit of gear oil, that's what I'm gonna use right now. And we just need a little bit. This isn't under any kind of pressure or anything. It's just to put a light film over all the moving parts inside. So anyway, I think that's about all we need. Barely anything came out. I can't really find like a reliable spec on this, so we're good. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what this does. Apparently it puts a little bit of pressure though on the internals of the rack, because there's a spring here and a plate that pushes down on it. Sometimes with a DeLorean, it's okay to not fully understand everything. Manual rack guys, what's going on in here though? I've only worked on traditional racks. This is my first manual. All right, you ready to go in? We took this guy out through the driver's side. We're going back in through the driver's side. So we're fishing it through the frame. And I'm trying not to scratch up all of my paintwork that no one's ever gonna see again. Oh, not too bad. Rack sits right there. And we'll get our tie rods in the spindle. New lock nuts going on. This side gets one too. Wow, this looks so good. I love it. I have the steering wheel straight right now. This only goes in one way, just like that. With the rack in, it's time for some bushings. So I gotta get this one in here and then give it a rotate. Okay. Now it's time for another gold piece that no one will see ever, and that's very difficult to get on. I have the other side bushing in, so gold bracket number 2 is going in. Gold washers going in through the bottom. With the rack mounted, we can tighten up the outer tie rods. Last piece of the rack puzzle is this lower bolt for the steering shaft. Gold bolt, gold lock washer, and gold lock nut. Never have enough gold. All right, all done there. Next, we need to install this upgraded aluminum radiator. So I'm upgrading the cooling system on the DeLorean. And there's no way that I can use these crusty old fans. We're gonna upgrade these as well. And we're gonna be replacing the fan motors and the blades with upgraded units, factory shroud though. And they're just held in by 3 bolts and nuts. All right, I got these loose. There we go. Ew, look at these things. So we're going from a 4-blade to a 6-blade fan with a much more powerful motor. Get out of here. Yes, I'm saving you guys. Now we're gonna be reusing the factory fan shroud with our sweet warning. Radiator fans may start at any time, but we have to make a slight modification because these fans are too fat to fit through. And that modification will be grinding. All right, that was pretty easy. I just went around, like 2 passes was all we needed. Now they slide in. All right, just like that. And like that. And then we have this tape on the bottom to hold in these bolts so they don't fall through the spacers. And we have washers and lock nuts. Oh yes. Tape coming off. Fans are bolted in. Hey. Let's get it on the radiator. This looks so good. Upgraded fans. This engine needs these. Now I had to make 2 more modifications to the fan shroud. I had to elongate these holes where they mount to this aftermarket radiator, but now everything lines up perfectly. So these bottom ones get held in by our own hardware. Lock washer, nut. And then we have the 2 factory brackets that go like this, and they get a factory DeLorean lock nut on this side. Although, I don't know about you guys, I think we need a washer there. That would make me feel a little bit better about life. Yeah, that's better. Always making improvements. Living the dream. Is that the DeLorean saying, living the dream? I'm not like a total DeLorean guy yet. All right, DeLorean people that are watching, don't freak out. I will learn. The first time I was at a DeLorean meet, guys would introduce themselves and then say the last 4 or 5 of their VIN. I'm not there yet. One day I will. I don't know what the last 4 or 5 of my VIN is right now. It's in the 600s though. I got an early one. Before the radiator gets in, we need to install a whole slew of bracketry. So we have these nice painted ones for the sway bar, but we're gonna use these bolts to hold it in for now. Now we have the lower radiator bracket going on. Now I'm gonna install one of our new horns. All these brackets go in a very specific order. So like you gotta take a lot of stuff apart to get to other stuff on this DeLorean. Shouldn't have installed the horn yet. It's in my way. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but I have one side bracket in, and I'm gonna try and shimmy this entire sweet looking radiator fan setup in here. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Shimmy. Oh, I'm literally putting my head here to block it if it falls because it will fall on the ground. I'd rather have it hit me in the head. This is a very expensive little chunk of DeLorean right there. Oh. Yeah. I have to do all this stuff now. Okay, I could do this. We're gonna get this side bolt in for some lateral support. Then we have the horn off of the bracket because we're fast learners. Where's the hole? Oh, geez. Oh, come on. Can't hold this thing forever. All right, I have all the pressure off. I'm holding this with one arm. Come on, dude. Oh, is it threading? It's threading. Oh, we got one. I got that. I got that. Okay, it's being held in very poorly by these brackets, but I did it. Kind of. Where's my other bolt? All right, that's tight. Now we have new hardware for our new radiator with a couple of bushings. And I get sandwiched in like this. I had to loosen up both of the brackets so everything lined up. And then we'll do a final tighten after the radiator's fully secured in its many brackets. Going into aluminum here, so we are going to tighten by hand. Click, click. Now we'll do our final tighten on this bracket to the frame. All right, good there. Radiator is fully mounted. We have the condenser lines hooked back up. And next are some radiator hoses. I'll get this plug out of here. And I've replaced every single radiator hose on this DeLorean, and now it's time to connect them. There we go. All right, now I have to go around and tighten like 30 clamps. They're all over the place. See, you got all these little sections back here, and then these guys run just all the way back, you know, to the engine. Okay, we have all of the hoses tightened. Many hose clamps. Honestly, I don't even know how many. There could be like 20 of them, something like that. But anyway, we're gonna pull a vacuum now on the entire cooling system. If we have any chance of bleeding this out easily, it'll be by pulling a vacuum. All right, let's close it really quick. Make sure there's no crazy big leaks. That needle is staying solid. Before you waste a bunch of time, just close it and see if it drops all the way down. It's probably something obvious at that point, but anyway. And you guys will see your radiator hoses start to suck in. That's normal. We're pulling a vacuum. Look at that. Now, this is a great time to check for leaks, so I usually let it sit for about a minute. Coolant leaks are pretty obvious, though. You'll see this gauge start moving and you'll hear a hissing. A lot of times it's just the tool, and you might need to tweak it a little, and you'll hear the air noise go away. But we're good. Let's fill. All right, now we're going to be using some white distilled vinegar. That's the best cooling system for the DeLorean. It gets in and cleans the stainless steel body. Just kidding. That's just the bottle. I pre-mixed 50-50 green stuff, and we are filling right now. So we're replacing that vacuum with coolant, and it's getting in all of the nooks and crannies of the cooling system. This is definitely the way to do it. Just don't get low, don't get any air bubbles in there. I like to stop it a little early. And you can see we're still at like 22 inches of vacuum. Coolant hoses are still collapsed, so we still have a lot to go. I just refilled this bottle, so we're going at it again. We're gonna find out how many gallons does the DeLorean cooling system hold. I really don't know. The radiator is not that big. Lots of tubes. Tubes everywhere. All right, I think we got about 2.5 gallons. And now we can disconnect our tool. And this is a universal tool, so it just fits inside of the neck with a piece of rubber, and then when you tighten this down, it expands so it doesn't leak. I don't want to sit here and run it for a long time to wait for heat to come in the cabin and all that kind of good stuff. So put a pin in it. Let's continue on with some rear end brakes and stuff that helps the car roll. With the front complete, it's time to install a rear lower control arm so we can get the spindle and everything done back here. So we're gonna slide this guy in right into this perch. You know what? It's Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease time. Now, some of you guys have asked, what do I do when I run out of the Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease? And I've always thought that when I run out of this tub, it'll mark the end of my career because it seems to never run out. Oh man, it is getting low. This is after 12 years. That's how much we have left. So that's like a year worth only. Okay, never mind. I guess I'll go to the Mercedes-Benz dealership and just buy some more and start over. It'll buy me another 10, 12 years, something like that. Maybe I'll buy 2. I got 20 something years left in me of working on cars all the time. Oh man, that grease worked so good. I went past the hole. New gold hardware. All right, we're gonna leave this loose for a little while we attach everything else. Like the upper arm, you know the rules. Mercedes-Benz sunroof, grease it up. Do this side too while we're here. And there we go, there we go. Oh, we definitely did not need it there, but that's okay. Never hurt anybody. We are starting these threads by hand because the threads go into the actual frame of the vehicle. And if we destroyed these threads, I mean, to try and fix those with this bracket that's also welded to the frame of the vehicle, like how would you even get anything in here? Not a fan of the DeLorean frame in general. I don't know, maybe I'm just salty because mine is kind of salty. Luckily the threads are in really good shape on my frame. So, okay, we'll just stop right there and leave that loose for now. Okay, it's spindle time right now. But you will see here that we can't get this spindle on because there's a steel bushing in the spindle that's hitting our rubber control arm bushing right here. Now, instead of getting angry and violent and trying to jam this in, all we need to do is get this bushing to go this way. Now, I'm sure there's special tools for this, but if you don't want to spend any extra money and you have some extra hardware laying around because the front coilovers on your DeLorean don't reuse the factory front strut hardware, then you can use this as a tool. Check it out. So I've taken a socket, we have a washer and a bolt, we put it through. This is now our receiving cup, and then we're gonna take a nut threaded on here and pay attention to that part of the bushing. Sucked it right in. Now we can remove this contraption and you can see that the bushing has been pushed over this way, and now this will reset once we put the control arm in and tighten up the bolt. This will push it right back in. Now, when you're doing this, always use a pretty hefty size bolt. You don't want to use too small and too weak of a bolt, otherwise things can break. I mean, so I've heard. I've never actually tried to use a smaller bolt or anything. Now this should slide right over like that. And we have this super long bolt. This is the longest bolt ever. Get out of my way. Okay, that's where the shock is gonna go eventually. Now we can swing this up. I did the bushing on the top as well. All right, so a little bit of a song and dance. We have a bolt we have to feed through the back here. Like that. Little one-handed washer removal. Come on now. Okay. I'm a professional. Pretend I did that in a really, really cool way. Now we can get this control arm in like so. This is a tight fit. All right, I think the gold plating, I mean yellow zinc, it's gold, okay? I think it definitely adds a little material you kind of have to get through initially, because yeah, this stuff is tight. And we also painted stuff too, so. Man, that looks good. Gosh, yes, if you guys are wondering, it does kind of like break my heart a little bit that I'm bolting all this awesome stuff up to the crunchy frame. I know I complain about the frame a lot. It's totally safe, it's fine. It's just a lot of cosmetic stuff like this, that. It's early in the morning. I'm messing around with the Grand National before heading into legit street quarters to work on the DeLorean, and there is some guy at the door of my garage. It is super early. It's like 6:30. This is crazy. Hang on. I got this thing locked. Who's there?
I'm someone that knows everything about your DeLorean.
Okay.
Just trust me.
How would you have any information on my DeLorean?
Listen, we don't have time. All you need to know is not to mess with the parking brake. You're going to end up spending an entire day messing with the parking brake. You're not going to fix it. And then the night before Halloween, the engine will be running. You'll shut the driver door. The engine will
Is that seriously?
off, and you
What
won't
are
have
you
enough
talking
time to
about?
diagnose it in time to make it to your front lawn for Halloween.
All right, dude. Yeah, thank you.
Just trust
Thanks
me.
a lot.
Don't mess with the parking brake.
Weirdo. All right, I'm not supposed to work on the parking brake for some weird reason. Well, I hear him running out here. You guys got to see this. He's dressed as Marty McFly.
Don't mess with the parking brake. Not worth it.
That was insane. There are a lot of crazy people out there, but anyway, let's get back to legit street cars and continue to work on the DeLorean. Halloween is approaching.
Before we get our rotors on, I have to tighten up these bolts to the trailing arm. Now I'm tightening up the trailing arm completely, unlike the control arms that have bushings, because I'm gonna wait until we have the car down for that. And the reason for that is you don't want these bushings to twist. So if we tighten them up right now, they'd be in an unnatural state. So when we lowered the car, they would constantly be under tension, and that'll wear out the bushings. You don't want that. On second thought, before we install the brakes, let's get the coilovers in, because the brakes are gonna cover up a lot of this work area. And these are super shiny and cool, and I can't wait to get them on. So first step, we will be reusing the factory DeLorean rubber isolator. Get a little silicone spray on there, and then we can install our upper cup for the coilovers. And then this goes in like that. Then we'll put the spring and shock assembly up like so. All right, then we can slide it onto the spindle, and I push that bolt through so we'd have a better angle. Now we can push it through with the shock. Just like that, perfect. Gold hardware going on. Okay, come on, I'm filming a video, let's go. There we go. And we won't tighten this up all the way, but just give it a little snug. So that's still totally loose, so we haven't preloaded our bushing. Then we just have a bushing for the top, and this gets 2 nuts. All right, and you want to counter hold the shaft to the shock so you don't spin it. Nice and snug is good. Then you can just lock it down with the second nut and you're done. All right, that one just has to be a little snug, nothing crazy. There we go. All right, I think I'm gonna go for the gold here on the rotors. I have new rotors that are silver, but we're going with the gold calipers. So we gotta have gold rotors, and I have silver calipers in the front. So I've definitely never had a car with 2 different color calipers. I don't know. We'll see if it works on a DeLorean. Could be kind of cool. But either way, you know the drill. Just a skim coat, if you will. Gold member going on. All right, so like I mentioned, we have a brand new wheel bearing thanks to DeLorean Midwest. They installed that at the shop, so that's kind of their rebuild service, along with a caliper rebuild service. So new pistons, new seals, gold plated. Yeah. If you guys have a DeLorean, they got it all over there. And this is one gigantic caliper, mostly because of that parking brake assembly. I mean, it is a decent sized caliper though. And this is a pain in the butt to tighten these bolts though. These caliper bolts are the absolute worst. You can't really fit a socket through there. So you have to get like maybe a half turn in at a time with the open end of a 16mm wrench. Oh, it's gonna take me a while. Good thing I have this beautiful gold to stare at. I love gold. Okay. Oh, these caliper bolts are a pain in the butt. Whew, all right. Let's get some brake pads in. Okay, this is not right at all. This parking brake assembly cannot go right here. That's where the wheel goes. It goes on the other side. Let's take this off. Okay, this looks really confusing. I'm gonna actually take that guy's advice and not mess with the parking brake right now. All right, we have our lubricated pads going in. It is so nice nice. Let's put new brake pads in with new calipers and everything. And we have our gold pins. We're gonna use those to hold them up like that. And these things will, okay. I was gonna say they will slide all the way down, and they did. This is quite the opposite experience compared to when I first got this car and brake pads were all frozen in. There we go. And then the pin retaining clips go over here. Oh. Where? All right, found it. As I was saying, the pin retaining clips go from the top. Interesting. Okay. Brake pads are down. The passenger side is complete, and now it's time for some brake lines, but they didn't always look this pretty. These lines are in good shape, but they were a little crusty on the outside, so of course I freshened them up. So now they're ready to go back in and connect to some brand new braided brake hose. All right, brake line is threading in. Always do this by hand. Both brake lines are installed. We have the reservoir filled with AMSOIL brake fluid, and look, it says use only .4 fluid. When did .4 brake fluid come out? I didn't even realize it was out back in 1981. But anyway, all of the bleeders are cracked. We're gonna let it gravity bleed for a little while. So while that's bleeding, we are replacing this nasty, nasty muffler with a hole in it and these horrible factory tailpipes from 1981. This is a used one I got from the guys at DeLorean Midwest, but I think it's from like an 82 or 83. And those are factory tips. I'm not 100% sure, but that looks a lot better. All right, DeLorean muffler going back. No more straight pipes for us. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that. DMC 12 muffler. Very nice. Oh, okay. All right, it's going in. There we go. With the muffler hanging out, we can start to install our bracket, and we have a new muffler football donut. And we'll put that on there first. And this little song and dance to get this all installed. Okay, there we go. This has to line up right there. Now we can get our 3 bolts into the side of the block. And the frame area is an excellent place to keep your bolts, like a bolt tray. Next, we have the driver's side gold exhaust bracket with a brand new football donut on there. There we go. These are a lot of fun to get to, but before I tighten those, let's get this going. I just got done tightening everything on the exhaust, and these look so much better than our crusty old tailpipes, and it's centered pretty well on both sides, better than DeLorean got it from the factory, I'm sure. So anyway, exhaust is done. All right, guys, it is the day before Halloween. It's Monday, Halloween's on a Tuesday, and I'm back at the shop, and this is it. This is it. I have like, the entire day or night, however long it takes to get this thing back on the road. So it's go time. Just by gravity bleeding, we got a lot of brake fluid out, but I've been going around and doing the old school style. Go ahead and push down. There we go. Then we're on our last caliper right now. Up, down. Yeah, we're gonna be good here. Ooh, a little bit of air bubbles. All right, but anyway, you guys have seen me bleed brakes a million times, so pretty much done there. Now we get to fire it up. We gotta feel the brakes, see if the brake booster works, and check out our cooling system. All right, guys, here we go. First start in this video. Give it a little prime. Oh man, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't start so I could do the, the Marty. Much quieter now that we have a muffler on there. The brakes feel great. So the brake booster's good. Can't wait to drive it. It's gonna be so fast. All right, so I'm gonna let it run for a little while so we can make sure that the fans are kicking out, we don't have any coolant leaks, and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah. You know what's amazing is I haven't touched these belts. I haven't replaced them, I haven't adjusted them, I haven't replaced any pulleys or anything. We never get any belt squeak. It's pretty awesome. But they do look like they were replaced right before this thing sat for, 30-something years. We should be getting some fans right now, but yeah, no fans. They're not kicking on. All right, I'm gonna shut this thing off. We got a little smoke coming from everywhere right now, but the DeLorean's had an issue with the fan temp switch, so let's pull the plugs. Yeah, that's not good. This one just broke right off. I don't even know where the other end went. The switch itself looks horrible. Luckily, Mike from DeLorean Midwest has come to see this thing finally hit the road, and I asked him to bring a new switch for us. So, what is it called? An Otterstat?
Otterstat.
Otterstat.
It's really a fan temperature switch, but for some reason they call it an Otterstat.
Okay. Otterstat going in. And this is held in by a clip that literally just wraps around the bottom of the coolant pipe. This is it. This is what holds in the Otterstat. We've let this cool off a little bit so there isn't any pressure in the system, but you can't have pressure when you're replacing this. You'll burn yourself. All right, so we're gonna pry this thing out. I'm gonna have to be quick. We'll probably lose a little coolant. Oh my gosh, do you see this like puff of dust smoke coming out of here? This is such an ancient part. Oh, okay, cool. We're not losing anything. We might need to add a little bit of coolant just from starting the engine up. There we go. The system might have bled out a little bit more, so we'll have to add some, but that's nice. This makes this job super easy. I'm gonna clean that up. We have our Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease, of course, on our new seal, and we're going back. There we go. Oh, that looks pretty. It's got a black seal too to match our new hoses and everything. This is the way to do it, people. Actually, the way to do it is to replace that when you have your pipe off, but better late than never. Now we will put our ultra secure clip back on. Okay. Did I do it? This is so crazy that this is what holds this in. Seriously? Okay, there we go. Yeah, this goes right there in the middle. That's the way to do it. That'll hold for the rest of time. I do not trust that at all. We'll crimp in a new connector here. Nice. Yes, I'm keeping this. It's a DeLorean part that I will do absolutely nothing with for the rest of my life. These strippers are the absolute best. All right, bada bing. Bada boom, we're done. Plug this guy in. Hopefully this will fix our fan, but with the one broken connector and the way that thing was looking, I think we're gonna be okay. If I was a gambling man, I would put at least $40 on this. I'm not that big into gambling. Fire in the DeLorean hole. Oh, it's not starting. Gotta be kidding me. I don't know what he says, I forget. I gotta watch that clip again. We're good. Yeah, that is a high idle. That is a very high idle. Yeah, I think we might have to make some adjustments here. Yeah, it'll go back up. This is the idle switch. The idle air control motor takes over with this switch, but when it's up like that, it's all throttle blades. The throttle blades just open too much. Wow, this idle is brutal, but we're waiting for it to warm up right now, and I have a brake light on. The brakes are bled, and everything is connected. Everything's good. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, I didn't have that clip down. See? Look at that, I just fixed it. Look at that, no lights on except for the coolest one ever, the door open light. All right, I think I just heard the fans kick on. Oh, we got fans. Oh, wait a minute, we only have one fan. This one's not working, the other one is. Come on, let's see if we got a connector issue. That's in. This harness looked fine too. So the Otterstat's done its job. That is fixed. So I didn't lose my 40 bucks, but I kind of did. I think I lost 20 bucks because that one fan won't work, but it's not the Otterstat anymore. Look at this, guys. Cooling fan fail. The DeLorean knows everything.
There's this blue module that's called a blue fan fail module. So the purpose of this is if it senses one fan's on and the one is not, it turns the light on the dash.
What if the blue fan fail module fails?
They do all the time. Whenever we see these, we get rid of them, because what happens is the module itself fails. Typically it doesn't ever turn the light on, but it quits sending current to one or both of the fans, and that's the reason. My first attempt would be, let's replace that and, with just a jumper wire that's fused, and see if that fixes our second fan.
Mike drove his own personal DeLorean over, which is an early car like mine, gas flap hood and the gray wheels. Can we strip some parts off this thing or what?
Yeah. I thought it was nicer than a parts car, but let's see what we find here.
Oh, this is black interior auto, just like mine.
Yep.
It's the same car.
This is what you would typically see replaced on the fan fail.
Oh, okay.
Just take that out, you're running one wire off the feed, and then left and right fans get fed there.
Okay, so if that fixes it, we at least know the issue.
Yep.
Cool. Fan fail relay is out.
Okay, I think we're ready to retest.
All right, cool.
Hopefully we get two fans this time.
Wow, that idle is crazy. All right, we're watching this right side fan to kick on. Hey, it's on. And it's hard to see from here, but yeah, the other one's on too. All right, cool. The fan fail relay was the issue, so we'll have to just leave it jumpered. I'll have to give Mike his part back though. But honestly, it's so cold out right now, even with the one fan, the temperature was not getting up even to the middle mark, so we're probably okay with one fan until I get a new relay. All right, fans are good, but we have coolant leaking, and it's dripping down from the engine. But yeah, look at that. It stays nice and cool. Let's shut her down. I believe our leak is coming from right there. That's our new valve, new hose, new clamp, everything. So maybe we got to tighten up that clamp. Man, who worked on this car? Oh yeah, it was loose. Whoops, I fixed it. There we go. Okay, we should be okay now. It was quite loose. All right, so I want to figure out how to get this idle down, and we have two idle screws. I have to loosen up these nuts here that just lock them in place, and you can see the green and the blue mark there. I'm assuming that's from DeLorean, and I just messed that up for him. But anyway, we got the throttle linkage off. It goes on a little ball stud here, and you can see that we can't get it back on unless we push the throttle in. So this is causing the throttle to hang up and be open. So we're gonna now turn this. We've loosened up the nut. nut, and we want to go in until this just perfectly lines up. All right, so I spun it around one more time. So we got 2 full revolutions, and now it lines up really nice and easy. We'll snap that back on, see how she idles. All right, so we have currently a 2400 RPM idle. So we have to set this out a little bit. This wasn't even touching before. It's as if someone made the adjustment with that lower rod only. All right, try it there. Okay, so might just let go, and I think that's actually pretty good. That's nice, so let me just kind of lock this down. All right, so we got the lower one set. Tighten that, all right, we're good. Oh yeah, that's much, much better. Look at that, about 900-ish. With the lower screw set, we can adjust the top screw until we hear an audible click. Right there. Now we can lock this in. All right, so next up, we are gonna be drilling to set a mixture screw.
So there's a little aluminum slug in here that needs to be removed in order to get to that mixture screw.
All right, so he's gonna center punch it. Hang on, Mike, hang on. You ever use one of these?
No.
It's the best tool.
That's an automatic one?
It's automatic.
Okay.
I've been waiting to show someone this.
And then it's just spring and just push down and it'll pop.
Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, it works good.
It does. I love that thing.
I drilled a hole into the slug and I'm going to drive a screw into it and then we're going to try to pull it up and out.
So we're literally threading just a random screw.
Sheet metal screw that should bite this just right. So I'm grabbing the screw we drove in now with a set of side cutters and then I'm going to lever this thing up.
That's so cool. You get to use the threads on the screw to pry it up. Got it. Woo!
Had me a little afraid, but yep. So you're screwing the screw down into the slug, and then the slug just gets pulled up with the side cutters.
So what we have here is a meter that is connected in a way to read the dwell, because this has what's called a frequency valve. So this valve right here basically adjusts the air-fuel mixture of this engine by bleeding fuel off. So you have your main feed and a return line right here, and this will go on and off, bleed fuel pressure, which will affect the air-fuel ratio. So kind of an old school way of doing that with mechanical fuel injectors.
What we're reading here is 0.8, which means extremely rich. That's a very rich exhaust, which is great because that's probably why this thing's been hard to start. Counterclockwise, I'm taking some fuel out of this mixture, and we're gonna see that number rise. We ideally wanna see this between 30 and 50, which we're getting way better,
Yeah.
You know, we're not getting down in like that.
Yeah. So right now the O2 sensor is reading the mixture. It's telling the engine's computer to change the dwell at the frequency valve in order to adjust this air-fuel mixture. And so this is going to fluctuate as it gets its reading from the O2 sensor. This is going to go up and down. We don't want it dipping down into, you know, the single digits or even the teens. And you can see we're doing much better now. Once we can get this bottom to about 30 and the upper limit to about 50, we'll be good.
I'd say that's pretty well adjusted right now.
And look at this. We were always running rich. You could see it on the exhaust. Totally clear now. Good deal. Idle's set, air fuel is set, we're good. Now that we have this 130 horsepower DeLorean engine running perfectly, it's time to install these beautiful axles, but they didn't always look this good. My DeLorean axles looked like this and had holes in them that looked like this, so I put them on the bench and got to work. First step is removing the outer caps to expose and remove a circlip. From there, I slid off the housing and the old boot, did the same on the other side, and took the axle shaft to the metal restoration department for a cleaning. With all the dirt and rust removed, the axle shaft went to the paint department for primer and then a few coats of gloss black, and it came out looking sweet. While that was drying, I took the housings apart, including the inner race, cage, and ball bearings, and cleaned out all of the old grease. Before reassembly, I upgraded the housings with a billet adapter, used RTV to seal it, and then new grease goes in while I put the cage, the ball bearings, and the inner race all back together. From there, new CV boots go onto the shaft, the housing slides on, the circlip goes in, the outer caps get resealed. It's like a spreading the pizza sauce on the pizza. And after doing the same on the other axle, we go from this all the way to this. The fully rebuilt CV axles are complete and ready for another 40-something years of service. All right, so it doesn't matter which axle goes on which side, so we just get to pick and choose. We'll do this one first. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful parts, except for that. Don't look at that. Look at it, this looks so good. All right, there we go. These are really easy, kind of last step. Nothing really gets in the way for these axles. Start all these threads by hand, of course. Okay, we're good. So this is all new hardware and this is a new flange. And I went with an upgraded boot kit. They're actually a little longer than factory. Both side axles are in, and now we are gonna do a test of this right here, the governor.
So we're going to test the computer governor or the trans shift governor. And this is simply just two lights. One drops out when you go into second gear, and a second one drops out when you go into third gear. When you turn the key on, we should see these two light up. And then as we run it through the gears, we'll see them drop out. So simple test of if we have all three gears like we should on an automatic. So I'm just...
And this is the transmission diagnostic port?
Yep. And then this is kind of a bit of a homemade tool, but really all you need is a couple of lights to read what the solenoids are doing that control the shifts.
And Mike, you know, I do have a brand new transmission. It was replaced in 1983, but you know.
So I'm sure the trans is good. The governor is very problematic, so we'll see what that's telling the trans to do here.
First step is just to, there we go, turn the key forward. We got two lights on, that's good. All right, so now I have to start it up. All right, and I have to put it in drive. Oh, look at that, guys. We are sending power to the rear. No way. All right, cool. What does our box say? All right, so this is first gear. One should drop out in second gear. There we go. It just shifted. And there, that's third. It shifted really quick because we're under no load, but you could feel it. And that's it. It's a 3-speed automatic. That's all the gears it's got. I'm gonna check the transmission fluid level. Ooh, that's a cool looking dipstick. And let's see, what do we got? We got nothing. We got nothing. It had a bit of a leak at some point, I'm sure. What kind of transmission fluid does a DeLorean take? Let me look that up on the internet, or, oh, here's the DeLorean internet right here.
Standard Mercon Dextron.
Okay, cool, I got that. We're just putting in some regular transmission fluid. It's old school. Let's see where we're at now. Just ran it through the gears. Oh, we're getting there. All right, a little more. We're pretty low. There we go, it stopped right around here and we're pretty warm right now. Trans is good. Hey, you guys remember that nasty plate that I pulled down a few videos ago? I haven't cleaned it yet. Oh wait, North Dakota dirt. Man, it's like bonded on there. Jeez. This is a great representation of just how grimy this car was. How am I still scraping dirt off this car? This is the ticket right here, people. Just gotta brush it. The end of my pressure washer just broke. It won't hold a fitting. So I'll just have to use it like a regular hose. So weak. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be driving this thing. Like, I think today. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still nice out. We're gonna do this, but we have to tighten up some suspension stuff. So if you remembered, we left all of this stuff pretty loose and we tried putting the wheel on. It's just gonna get in the way of everything. It's gonna be very hard to tighten. So what you can do is lower the car onto a jack or one of these. And right now we are preloading the suspension just about there. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So we lowered the car until it was starting to pull the weight off of here where it's jacked up, so we know this is about where it would be if the wheels were on and it was just resting on its own weight. You can see our steel bushing slid right in. You guys remember we pushed that out with our homemade tool. And what's crazy is that was like 20, 30 minutes ago for you guys, but it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago for me. Everything in the back is tight, so we are doing the same in the front. Okay, cool. Yep, I can just barely start to hear this kind of coming up a little bit, and that's good. All right, front end's done too. Wheels are going back on, and we are running spacers, by the way, to clear the largest brakes you've ever seen bolted onto a 1994 Escort hub. There we go. They clear? They clear. We have our 4 lug nuts for extra high performance. Okay, so I have no idea what the ride height is gonna be. I just set the fronts equal to themselves and the rear equal to themselves, but no baseline. I have no idea what it's gonna look like. Could look kind of weird. We'll torque those later. So right now it looks like the driver's side has a little toe in and the passenger side is a little toe out, but let's lower it. Let's see how I did on this ride height. Oh yeah. That's actually looking pretty cool. And the front needs to go lower, but this is already lower than when I got the car and we haven't even jounced the suspension. Maybe I should do that first. Let's kind of give it one of these. We need to go way more low in the front. It's just easier to take the wheel off, and then there's just one tool, and all it does is spin the base of the spring. And so we're going up with this base, so it's gonna make the spring shorter, which is going to lower the car. So kind of a guessing game. I'm just gonna move it up maybe about 1 inch on each side evenly, and then we'll put the wheel on, lower it, and see what happens. All right, I've made 2 rounds of adjustments. This should be it. Let's see what this looks like. All right, it's getting there. Let me do a little jounce. After a little bit of jouncing, this is what it looks like. I think I'm gonna be good with this for now because I wanna drive the car. Springs do settle and I don't wanna go too low. Because of the 15s in the rear and the 14s in the front, we're already gonna get kind of a rake down. So I think we're looking good. All right, our bulletproof bottom shield is clean. Probably not bulletproof at all. But we have to put back our little Dorito and you can see the witness marks here. So there you go. That's going back. It's a vital piece to the puzzle. And yeah, it's sliding away. That's okay. We'll get you Dorito. Yay. It's kind of a Dorito, but it's also like a Grim Reaper, like claw nail thing. It's gonna be Halloween soon, right? Grim Reaper. I'm in the spirit. I'm in the Halloween spirit. Although this is gonna be on my front lawn, hopefully, if it drives. A DeLorean's not really like scary to kids. It's scary to adults who own DeLoreans because they know how much money they're gonna have to dump into them all the time. So for a very small select group of people, this is about the scariest Halloween decoration as you can get. I should have a sign pointing to the Valley of Death. I'd never seen a DeLorean just driving down the road. And I always thought they were like really, really rare, but there's like 6,000 left, which is, it's weird that I don't ever see them. We're ready. Almost. We just have to put on our DMC, DeLorean Motor Company air filter box, and then we can drive it. We don't want this beast sucking in any animals or anything. All right, airbox is on. A lot of cleaning to do. That's that. All right, so the last thing we have to do is an alignment, which we're gonna use a tape measure for. I will get a real alignment at some point, but it is late. Everything is closed right now. So we're at about 65 3/4. And what we're doing here is we're measuring the difference between the front of the tire and the back of the tire. And the difference has to be about 3/8 of an inch. And that'll show us our toe out or our toe in. All right, so now we're at 66 1/4. All right, so now I just need to make an adjustment. I have my pliers in this rag so I don't scratch this paint up too bad, but I think I'm gonna end up scratching it. That's not working out. Okay, I'm scratching it anyway. I'll have to repaint this. All right, so we're just gonna turn it a little bit like that. And we'll recheck. So we are right at 65 7/8. Yeah, now we're at 66 1/4. So this obviously isn't perfect. I think we're like between 1/4 and 3/8, something like that. Close enough for now. Let's just try and drive it. That's it, guys. This is it. What is going on here? I'm mostly clean. I don't care. I gotta clean this up before it gets on the lawn anyway, but okay. It's good, it's good. You gotta be kidding me. Jeez. What? Dude, this makes no sense. What in the world just happened to my DeLorean? I was just about to go on a maiden voyage trip. I just closed the door. Dude, come on. I just want to drive my car. You gotta be kidding me. I got nothing, people. I literally just closed the door. That's it. It was like a switch turning off the engine. All right, here we go. Gotta figure that out. That's not even trying, man. That's not even trying. I'm gonna pop this airbox off and see if we have fuel pressure. Yeah, we got fuel pressure. If you push this flap down, if there's resistance, that means it has fuel pressure. Mike just pulled the fuel pump relay right now, just in case this thing is flooded. We'll see what happens now. Nothing. Let me pull a plug. Okay, we're not getting any spark. Look at that. What in the world? Yeah, we're not getting any spark at the coil. All right, well, at least we're getting somewhere. We don't have any spark, so that's good. All right, we're gonna check for power at this ignition coil. 3 volts, okay. 3 volts, almost 4 volts. That's all we're getting. All right, so we want way more. We want 12 volts. I have this hooked up to another battery. I'm gonna feed it some juice. Still nothing. We're feeding it 12. Maybe try hitting the gas. Maybe we flooded a little. We found a 10 amp fuse that's blown back here. I'm trying to figure out what it's for. Oh, this is an ignition fuse. Yeah, totally blown. Now, why in the world it blew? I don't know. All right, we're gonna replace this fuse and see if it starts. Yeah, there we go. All right, DeLorean's back, but why did that fuse blow? Do DeLoreans have electrical gremlins? No, right? It's impossible. This is an ignition ballast. It's basically gigantic resistors that allows the car to have a little bit more voltage while it's cranking, but then it lowers the voltage when it's running. That could use a cleaning for sure. This could have been why we popped that fuse. Just a bad connection here. Dirty connection. Needs to be cleaned. Let's get this green fuzz off. A little contact cleaner spray. It's looking a lot better. All right, I like that. This one's in good shape. We'll clean it anyway. Ooh, look at that green awesomeness. I can't get this pin out of this case. I mean, I might destroy it if I try, so we're just gonna do our best here and kind of clean these up with these bristles. Or at least getting the green off. We'll hit this one up as well, but we just gotta be gentle here. I'm good, that looks fine. Good connection, okay. This is interesting. We found out that this relay right here, it's called the RPM relay. It's the fuel pump relay, but it also intercepts the tach signal. And if this goes bad, it could shut down your ignition. And this is the original, it's got a stamp 1981. We're replacing it with a brand new part. This was in a wrapped up sealed bag from DeLorean. Also 1981, it's an NOS part, new old stock. That's pretty cool. I'll plug that in. That should make our DeLorean much more reliable as well. Okay, but I'm still gonna carry around like a million fuses just in case. You never know. Okay, airbox is going back on. Let's try this again. I'm gonna be nervous to shut my door every time I start this car now. I haven't even driven this car 1 inch and it's already left me stranded. Luckily, we're still here. I should just start it with the door closed, but we gotta test it. Yeah, I think I need a new ignition tumbler. Oh, there we go. Okay, just had to use penetrating oil on my ignition. It's no big deal, it's normal. All right, here we go. Dude. No, this thing is cursed, guys. Okay, here we go. We were playing with this and it started to stumble. Oh, I think that was me. Well, I mean, I didn't fully unplug it, but try it again. Yeah, that was me unplugging it. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna tighten up this connection right here. I don't really like it, even though we cleaned it up. It's too loose. Oh, there we go. That's the kind of connection I'm talking about right there. All right. We've been flooding these cylinders for a while, so we gotta let it run. It's running good though. That's gotta be it, guys. Bad connection at the ballast, popped the fuse, put a new fuse in, cleaned those up, and it was intermittent. Now I think we're gonna be good. Let's see if I can close the door this time and not have it shut off on me. This thing is really cleaned up. It's idling nicely. Everything looks good. Temperature, voltage, oil pressure, a little low on fuel, but it's okay. Here we go again, people. Here we go again. Oh, it didn't die. All right, we're in drive. I just drove my car. I'm mic'd up. I don't know why I'm yelling through the little window, but it's moving. I'm steering my DeLorean right now with a steering wheel. It's pretty cool. I'm going towards the space van, next to the TA and the Eclipse. All right, here we go. Let's see, do we have reverse? We have reverse. I have a DeLorean that runs. I can't really see out of the DeLorean, but all right, let's go old school. I'm not using the mirrors. Oh, you know what? All right. Horn works, seatbelt works. Oh, I'm nice and comfy. Just want to live in here. All right, here we go, people. Okay, are we gonna make it anywhere? It's starting to bog now. I think we need some more fueling adjustments. Oh, there we go, okay. Oh, it died. It literally didn't even make it out of my driveway. This has got to be fuel. This isn't ignition anymore. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's pretend that didn't happen. All right, the wheels, oh, it shifted. We're in second. It shifted into third. Yeah, the alignment is really nice. So with this old school of a car, we can just take the wheel off and literally center it because it's not key weight or anything, it's spline. But yeah, you can fix that. That's no biggie. But it drives really nice and straight. The engine hasn't died and the brakes feel really good. Oh man, I'm like so like, okay, nervous as you can tell because of that kind of stuff. Come on, man. but excited and nervous. And okay, there we go. It's got a little bog in the beginning. Okay, but now we're good. Oh, the shifts are nice. Hang on, everything is like fresh here. Do we have any weird noises? We have no weird noises. It's cold. Let me roll up my little window. It's rolling. Oh my gosh, there's no stop on these windows. Like, you just have to know when the window is fully shut or it'll do that. Oh man, right off of idle is the issue. But if I keep into it, then it takes off and it's just fine. Okay, so we gotta work on that. Oh my gosh, guys, there's no weird scraping noises. There's no nothing. Oh, these handle like really well. It's got a little roll to it. We can adjust the shocks and everything, but oh, it's tight. I mean, the rack is in great condition now. I mean, it stops. It stops. The idle is rock solid. Look at that. That's perfect. It's warmed up a bit. Oil pressure is good. Look at that engine temperature, voltage. That's beautiful. But yeah, it's right off the line. Right off the line. And it has to like plow through. So, okay, we might have to mess with the Lambda a little bit more. Oh my gosh, we're even going over bumps and there's no weird noises or anything. This is great. And everything's new. Oh my gosh, that is wide open throttle. Okay, that's pretty slow. I mean, it could be because of the fueling issues, or it could be 130 horsepower. Oh, this is awesome though, guys. This is awesome. I don't even know what to say anymore. I am gonna be driving this car. This is my car. Do you guys remember what this looked like when we first got it? It was gross. It had mice poop all over the place. It didn't run since 1991. Oh, come on now, let's go, let's go, let's go. There you go, just get through that initial hit and we're good. Wow, the shifts are buttery smooth. The trans is great. Oil pressure goes right up. I'm feeling good, guys. It hasn't died. I think we figured that issue out. When I shut the door, it probably just rattled that connector ever so slightly. DeLorean. Ba, ba, ba. Ooh. I gotta slow down. I don't wanna go back in time or anything. So I got up to about 50 on that one. All right, let's head back. Let's see if we can fix this off idle thing. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna make the deadline, the Halloween deadline. The car just has to run and drive to my house and make it onto my lawn. That's the goal. I know some of you guys think the goal is weird, but like a lot of people have goals for cars, like make it up a hill or make it to like a car show or something. Oh my gosh, I literally, oh, there we go. They have goals to like make it to a racing event or a car show or anything. For me, my goal is this thing on my front lawn with my kids passing out candy with the doors open and all the kids in the neighborhood are gonna freak out. And that's the goal. I mean, that's my goal. I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna be so much fun. My kids are so excited. I'm excited like a little kid. Oh, we're back. We're rolling in to my shop. Oh my gosh, guys. This is too cool. Maiden voyage in my own DeLorean. Let's go mess with some idle air mixture stuff. Oh, that will never get old. All right, we're gonna give this just a little bit more fuel. Then we have to plug the vacuum leak. All right. I don't know how much that did, but. Oh yeah. Can I do a burnout in a DeLorean? No, I don't think so. Let's see, do I have heat? Go to vent. Oh, I got heat.
You got heat?
I got
Nice.
heat. Like a daily driver at
Need
this
it
point.
tonight. Probably what, 40 degrees out right?
Yeah, it's cold. It's boost weather. All right, we're good. It's not bogging off the line anymore. Speedo cable is working fine. It's counting our mileage and everything. We've gone almost 3.5 miles. What do you think, Mike?
It runs pretty good. The brakes feel great. Suspension feels good. So first drive, it's a winner.
All right, guys, it is very, very late right now. Mike, thank you very much for staying the whole time. So I think I'm gonna go back to the shop, put this thing away, and then come back in tomorrow. We gotta clean it up and, see if there's any issues. I'm sure there won't be. And tomorrow's Halloween, so we're driving it back during the daylight. Anyway, I will see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, it's the next day. I got my orange Legit Street Cars t-shirt on. And guess what? It's October 31st, Halloween, and it's snowing in Chicago. Look at this. Today's gonna be 32 and up to about 37 when I'm gonna have this car on my lawn. So it's wonderful. But I don't care, the DeLorean is running well and we have a lot of cleanup to do this morning. I'm going to see if the alignment shop can do an alignment, but it's driving straight. We could just reclock the steering wheel and call it a day for now. And let me know what you guys think of the ride height here. I'll show it to you again outside, but the rear tires definitely fill in the gap quite a bit. And I do think the front looks proper and the car's very level as well. So I'll let the suspension settle a little bit more. We have about a 25-mile drive today and then we'll kind of reevaluate. But DeLorean's back from the dead, 1991. I know the DeLorean looks kind of clean right now, but it is actually quite dusty and dirty, as you can see there. And I don't want to wash it because it's freezing outside, so let's just blow it off. With all the dust off, I just need to remove all these fingerprints. And I'm just using a solution of water and rubbing alcohol. We should be fine. I think that's gonna be it right there. That'll do the trick. All right, who am I kidding? I'm gonna barkeepers the whole car. It's gotta look perfect for this. It's cold out, but it's getting sunny right now and the snow is starting to go away. So maybe we'll have a nice day. I mean, it's gonna be cold, but hopefully it's just not snowing. This thing's gotta look pretty. I can't believe I'm just cleaning my DeLorean that like runs and drives like a normal car. This is so weird. Oh yeah, this stuff works so nice. And then we just take the back side and wipe it off. You don't wanna leave this stuff on or anything. That's it, look at that, all the fingerprints. This was by far the worst area, all gone. Regrain looks amazing. I'm excited. The DeLorean is all cleaned up and looking pretty, and so is the DeLorean model. It's coming with us. Here, we'll put it in the frunk, right over the spare tire. All right, before we drive this again to my house, my buddy Travis Bell sent me this. Your future is what you make it, so make it a good one. Cool. And then I wonder if there's like one of those Haynes or Chilton manuals for a DeLorean. That's a quote from me. It's one that'll go down in the record books. So he mailed this to me and he didn't tell me what's in it. And he said to open it on camera. What do you guys think it is? Probably something I should have opened before we got into diagnostics on the DeLorean, I'm assuming. There's peanuts in here. Oh my gosh, Travis, like you're such a good packer. This is like, okay. Thanks, Travis. Oh yeah. Look at this, whoa. DeLorean Time Machine, Doc Brown's owner's shop, what, workshop manual? No way, what? Get out of town, what? No. A workshop manual for the Time Machine DeLorean. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right, so I guess this really wouldn't have helped me with my car, but it definitely tells you what everything is called. Wow, if you really want to get into time machines, this is the book to have. Look at that. Thank you, Travis. You are an amazing human being, and I am going to cherish this book for the rest of my life. I'm literally going to read this whole thing. This is awesome. Thanks, dude. All right, first start of the day. There we go. She needs to warm up, that's for sure. All right, we're off. First drive during the day. We're cruising. It's all good. Oh, we're low on gas though. Where we're going, we definitely need gas and roads. Well, of course, it is raining a little bit / snowing, but if you guys are wondering what I bring with me in the frunk of my DeLorean, it's a box of tools, a jumper, mini DeLorean, dock clothes, drying towels, and some performance improver from AMSOIL because I think this will help clean up the combustion chamber, the valves, and the injector some while we drive it on the highway. Well, I forgot to bring a funnel, so I'm pushing this down with an Allen key, and then we'll feed in the good stuff. Clean my DeLorean. Clean it. All right, I'm going 93. And if you guys are wondering why I don't have a hoodie right now, it's because I got a couple of my hoodies dirty and you guys bought the rest of them at legitstreetcars.com. They're all sold out right now. I'm freezing, but thanks for buying. All right, I'm right at 10 gallons. I want a higher concentration of the PI to really clean everything up. Don't have to worry about dripping gasoline on my stainless because it cleans it because it's a stainless steel, you know, it's a stainless steel car. All right, getting back in. Oh, it's cold. We got good toasty heat though. All right, people, we are getting on the highway right now for the first time. And it's running pretty good. Now that it's warmed up, it's running nice. We're in third and final gear right now, going 55, the legal speed limit and not 1 mile an hour over. First impression, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, is wind noise. There's like no wind noise. That's weird. I thought there'd be a ton with the doors and everything. That's pretty cool. We're cruising, guys. Everything looks good. Temperature's good, although I think it could be a little bit warmer. I did replace the thermostat, but I'm okay with that. Heat's working really nice. Oil pressure's good. We almost filled it up with those 10 gallons, but she cruises. Look at this, steering wheel's not shaking, nothing. I missed to show you guys the rollover. We just rolled over from a fake 16,299 miles to a fake 16,300 miles and almost 23 real miles during this trip driving the DeLorean, where it's a little bouncy right there. But everything is still looking great. No warning lights. All the gauges look perfect. I love the instrument cluster here, by the way, guys. With the DMC and the little door open warning message that lights up in red, leave your door on. And this has a lambda warning light. Basically, if your O2 sensor goes bad, it'll tell you. But very complete. It shows you everything. Everything's in a good spot. Good job, DeLorean. It's such a comfortable car. The seats are comfortable. Your arm just rests nicely on the door panel. The center console is up higher, so your elbow kind of fits on there nicely. This is so so cool. It drives great. I mean, it should, right? I replaced like everything. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm totally gonna drive this car. I know it's snowing right now and it is Halloween, so it's almost November, obviously, but there's still some fall cruising to be done, and I'm definitely gonna enjoy this thing. I'm gonna drive it as much as I can before winter. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'd go wide open throttle for you guys, but I don't want to break those tires loose and, you know, get into an accident here. It's got 130 HPs, if you know what I mean. I'm making really good time so far. Knock on steering wheel, it doesn't break, but I'm getting home before all of the kids get out of school so I can set this up on the lawn, and I'm gonna have to drive it quite a bit on the grass to get it up there, so hopefully I don't destroy it, but it'll be worth it. Grass will grow again. I cannot believe I'm driving this DeLorean. I have put so many hours into this, not just work hours, but just research hours, thinking about it at night. Just, it has been the last like 2 months of my life taking it from this, essentially an abandoned barn find in North Dakota, all the way to driving it right now and it looking like this. It's not like we just got the mechanicals done and it runs and drives well. It looks phenomenal. I mean, it is running so good right now. No lights on the dash. The ride is beautiful. It handles so well too. Instant steering response. The coilovers definitely helped a lot. I love the ride height, the wheels, just everything. It is all coming together finally. And now I'm on my way home to dress up like Marty. My wife's gonna be Jennifer. We couldn't find Back to the Future kids outfits, but that's okay. They are gonna freak out when they see this thing on the front lawn of their house walking home from school. I'm gonna pick them up. Hey, I got a downshift. This is so slow. Oh my gosh. Some of you guys had mentioned in the comment section that I'm gonna be very disappointed, like don't meet your hero type of thing. And guys, I fully understand what 130 horsepower feels like. I had a 1981 Corvette, and what did those have? Like 175 out of a V8. It was horrible. So bad times. This was a bad era for horsepower for sure. Honestly though, I wonder how much slower the DeLorean was compared to the 1981 Corvette, like in the quarter mile or 0 to 60. I bet you they were pretty close because this thing is light. It's very light. Now so's a Corvette. We're 16 miles in, running like a dream, handling like a dream, braking like a dream. Well, not on the highway much. And I wish you guys could be there for this. The tape just shot out. But I have the music from the motion picture soundtrack Back to the Future. This is what I'm listening to. All the speakers work well, the cassette tape works well, everything. It's like a normal car. That's the power of love. That's on right now. They can't copyright me because I'm horrible at singing. We're almost in Sweet Home Chicago. All right, we're getting off. God, this thing handles so great. Can't wait till it's not, 32 degrees out and snowing. I could daily this thing. I really could. The view in here, it's so cool. Hang on, let me just show you you gotta see. I mean, this is what I'm looking over. Hey, you can see me. So I film, yes. I don't know. It just doesn't do it justice right now. Just all this DeLorean goodness, the little window thing, it's just too cool. And it's in such nice condition now. Gotta get back in time. That's where I'm at right now. I rewinded it all the way. That's like the first song. I'm almost home. This is crazy. I wish I could have flashed forward in time like 2 seconds when I first got this thing just to see this. Well, maybe I don't want to know. I don't know. I think a lot about time travel now, I'll tell you that much. It is really coming down. October 31st, Chicago, come on. It's gonna be like 60 degrees in a couple of days too. But either way, I'm just so happy that I listened to that weirdo in my garage about not working on the parking brake. Kind of sounded like me too. But anyway, we gotta get this DeLorean on the front lawn, which means I have to literally drive it down my sidewalk. This was not what I was thinking for today. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Ah! Snow's getting in! Well, I've never driven a car on my sidewalk and grass before, let alone a DeLorean, but this is definitely a first for many, many reasons here. All right. Get out. It's on the front lawn! I did it! This was the goal. She's here. It's snowy. Hopefully it stops and I'll brush it off. And you can't even tell it's a stainless steel car right now. It's a snowy car. Wait, what is his name?
Marty McFly.
No, it is not Marty McFly. I gotta see this. No. Guys, are you serious? I have no idea who this lady is. I'm literally just out here filming and she's watching me and I'm like, hang on, I'm messing up my lines. No way. Did you see what we have right there?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's a time machine replica. Do you live around here?
I live in that bungalow with all the pumpkins.
Oh my gosh, I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
And I have a DeLorean.
Wow. My daughter had a like Back to the Future, you know, theme wedding, you know.
Are you kidding me?
We're like fans.
You're a little bit. What are this is crazy. Well, I'm Marty and that's Marty. Fantastic. I love it. Thanks for stopping by. Seriously. Thank you. See ya, Marty. I'm Marty too. This is so crazy. Anyway, it is like a half hour later, and of course, it's not snowing anymore. The car is starting to melt. Welcome to Chicago. But obviously, I filmed the intro to this video, which you guys saw probably an hour ago at this point. I filmed it today, like realistically an hour ago. It is actually Halloween. I pulled up in the DeLorean. I filmed that intro, hopped in the time machine, and now we're back. Space-time travel is confusing. But before I clean this up and kind of show you guys the setup, let me show you guys the time machine. Hi guys.
I was just telling them one of these houses has a flying saucer on the corner.
Yeah, we got a couple of them.
I saw the one, they said there's 2 of them there.
They're popping up all over the place. See you guys, happy Halloween.
We just need a little more plutonium.
Or you say trash.
Well, you said trash, I said banana peels and other stuff.
My kid loves Back to the Future. It's so hard to tell him it doesn't work. He's like, does it really work? I'm like, I don't know, I can't break it to you yet. He's having a blast.
One trash can that's sadly empty. Oh wait, we got a smashed pumpkin in our trash can. Could we use that?
Yeah, that'll actually probably fuel it real well.
Oh, he's already all set.
We got rid of
Mr.
some of
Fusion's
these
ready to
cans,
go.
But I think pumpkins will work better this time of year.
There we
Get rid
go.
of these bananas.
We're filling Mr. Fusion up with the garbage. Oh, I kind of want a movie car now. All right, well, it's starting to snow again, so let me show you guys Eric's Time Machine DeLorean, and a huge thanks to Eric, who drove this thing in the snow. And like DeLorean guys, even regular DeLorean guys without the Time Machine outfits would never consider driving their car in the snow, but this is a real legit street cars, and for the love of the game, he brought it out here. Hoverboard. He's got the Nike Max. He's got extra plutonium. The Almanac. Oh my gosh. I was thinking of wearing this too for Marty.
There's Biff's Blast from the Past store bag. You got the remote.
Oh, cool.
And
I gotta buy a hoverboard.
this one will, you're out of plutonium. Look at the shot on the front. It looks just like it's from the movie when they came back.
Oh, you're right. It looks just like when they came back, and it was freezing on the outside. Wow, this is so cool. So of course he has the flux capacitor, and you saw us use this earlier. This is so neat. He had to teach me what to press on here for the dates. I couldn't figure it out. And then this bottom one is enter. And wow, this is a really good replica. And we got Mr. Fusion, of course.
Open it up, powered by MGD Draft and rubber bananas. So.
And you also own a kit, Knight Rider, right?
Yes, I have a replica of Kit from Knight Rider, and a couple friends and I are restoring the original semi-truck and trailer that was used for filming that show. If you guys want to check it out, the channel's called Knight Rider Historians. There's a picture of Jay Leno. My buddy's been on Jay Leno's garage, and just follow us on the restoration project. It's been a wild ride.
Guys, I will plug that channel down below. Eric told me the story. It is insane how they found the truck and trailer. It was being used as like a dairy trailer, right? Or dairy truck or something.
Produce farmer.
Produce farmer or something had it, and they like rescued it. It's insane. You got to check it out. I'll put that down below. How long ago was this built?
I believe the previous owner had it for maybe 5 or 6 years, and he just kind of gradually started doing all this stuff, putting it together, and he decided he wanted to build a Ghostbusters Ecto ambulance, so it was time to part with something, and it's kind of at the right place at the right time. So
I love the movie.
thank you. Oh, let me fire up the flux light.
Oh yeah, Eric, you never no one ever talks to you about this car when you're driving it on the road or anything, right?
No, not at all. They just almost hit you while they're trying to take pictures and get a glimpse of it.
Oh, look at that. The lights work and everything. This has got to look so cool at night.
I got a remote. You can change colors.
Very cool. Thank you so much for bringing the time machine out here. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate it because I was able to go back in time and warn Alex not to mess with that darn parking brake. So this saved the video series. So anyway, thanks brother, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
All right, the sun is coming out, people. The day is turning around, so I'm cleaning up. Oh, why am I going against the grain? Kind of forgot about that. I never thought I'd be removing snow from my DeLorean. Gotta go with the grain. Anyway, things are looking up right now. We're gonna have a clean DeLorean. It's gonna melt soon. The legit street car's gigantic drying towel doing its thing, even in the snow. Shameless plug, link down below. These things are amazing. You can dry a complete car in just a couple of minutes, and it works with snow apparently. All right, I'm gonna make this look pretty again. DeLorean's all cleaned up, and we're gonna be passing candy out, and people are coming by taking pictures. Thank you. All right, guys, here's the setup. We have our candy bowl. We have a few more inside ready to come out. My kids are kind of just sitting in the car passing out candy, and we're getting a lot of trick-or-treaters even though it's cold, but the sun's out now, so this is gonna be prime time. All right, kids are passing out candy, and Eric is taking off in the time machine.
Somebody asked me to go to a different day, so I gotta go.
Where you go? You're going to 1999?
Yeah.
My son put that in, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Okay.
you know what? I'll give it to him.
All right, it's a good year.
I'll bring him some stuff.
99 was fun.
It was very fun. You got a party like it was.
That's right. Thanks, brother.
All right, I'll see you.
I'll see you later. So cool. I love this stuff.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
Pretty crazy, right? So my wife saw this car once when it was in pieces at the shop, but this is the first time, like, with it completed, and it's on the lawn.
It's on the lawn, that's for sure.
So big shout out to my wife, who's dealt with the last 2.5 months of me being gone late night a lot, working on this car, and she's filled in a lot because, like, this is literally all I've been doing. And she dressed up as Jennifer, so we're boyfriend and girlfriend again. And yeah, there's the DeLorean. There it is. You want to sit in it?
Yeah, I want to sit in it. Oh my gosh, I'm on the ground.
I lowered it a little bit, but
on the floor. This is so crazy. Oh man, are we gonna make it into like a time traveling like machine?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this thing. I mean, I just love it as is right now.
But I don't think you can have one of these and not do that though.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I mean, we could also just get 2 DeLoreans, one time machine, one regular one.
I guess we could, but
That makes sense, right?
are you gonna make this faster?
Am I gonna make it faster? I don't know. I don't know. It is pretty slow, I must say. It looks fast, you know,
It
but
has to go 88 miles, right?
yeah, exactly. True.
88 miles per hour.
That's right.
Awesome, good job, Alex. And the team that all worked on it. All right, I gotta get back to trick-or-treating.
Okay. All right. So I'm filming in between loads and loads of kids walking by, trick-or-treating, looking at the car. We get a ton of kids in this neighborhood, even when it's like 35 degrees out. So I am now going to walk around, go trick-or-treating with my kids, pass out a bunch more candy with the DeLorean, and just have a fantastic Halloween. And then tomorrow morning, I am going to SEMA. So this video will already be out by the time SEMA's over, but hopefully you guys see me at SEMA. I'm doing a few meet and greets, and it's gonna be just kind of a fun little vacation for me after all this hard work. So anyway, with that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the DeLorean series thus far. I'm gonna be moving on to some other cars for a little while, but don't worry, the DeLorean is sticking around forever, so there'll be plenty more DeLorean videos in the future. So if you did like this video, if you like the series, give it a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends. An airplane's gonna ruin my outro again. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to get rid of that airplane. And most importantly, have a fantastic day. Happy Halloween. I'll see all of you in the next video. Leave us, plane, leave us! All right, we have a ton of parts. I don't even see you, plane, but I can hear you. These cups were from the front. These are the factory cups from the front struts. These are the factory cups from the front struts, so we're gonna be transferring these on. That's what I have to deal with filming. Gotta wait for that horn. There we go. And this is the adjustable part of the, and this is why they coil. And holy cow, this looks absolutely awesome. Stop texting me, people. Stop it. Stop texting me during my video. So I installed that tape from coming from the, I installed the tape, and now we can give these another tighten. Now we'll finally tighten. Now we'll do our final tighten. That is very difficult to focus, let me tell you. Focus! Dude. Whoa, what is going on? Actually, the way to do it is to replace that when you have the pipe off, but. Okay. I wonder, honestly though, I wonder how much slower the